What's going on, everyone? Scotty from the Breakevens, giving you another AFL Supercoach video today. Continuing on with our tier list, we have the Ruckman today. So this will be the quickest of the tier list videos. So there's not that many Rucks out there um, in general, and there's only a handful that we will probably look for anyway. So before we get into that, make sure you go check out any of the other videos that you may have missed. Give them a like and subscribe to the channel for daily AFL Supercoach content this pre-season. If you're yet to join the Breakeven Supercoach League, you can do so by using code 266136. Once again, that is code 266136. And follow me on X at Breakevens Pod or on Facebook, The Breakevens. That all done and dusted. Let's get into these rucks. All right, so here we have it going at 120 plus 115 to 119, 110 to 114, 105 to 109, and under 105 if I think anyone will do that. So should be interesting. What have I got here? I've just got a few, so it should be short and sharp. I'm going to start with Shrek Darcy, who is starting off the season injured in the sense that he's had surgery, not because of an injury itself. He had a screw in his foot that got infected, so they've had to remove that, and that's why he's out. When he comes back, if he can stay fit, we know he's lost 15 kilos. He is a very good ruckman. So, do I think he's 110 to 114, or do I think he's 115 to 119? I'm going to go 110 to 114 just because if he does get injured, it is going to bring it down. Those 115 to 119 averaging players, they're more your reliable type rucks. So 110 to 114, I think, is fair. I think you're probably looking at about 111 if I'm being honest. Next is Darcy Cameron. This one's interesting because I don't think we see Mason Cox at all unless McStay gets injured or if Cameron gets injured. So I think Cameron will be the mainstay ruck with McStay helping out if when needed. So what does that mean for Cameron? I think he's 110 as well. Um, if Cox is in, then he's more 105 to 109. But I think 110 is spot on and could be a cheaper pod because he could do better than 110. I'm just being as trying to get it as fair as possible. So 110, I think for him is fair. Tim English, I'm going to say will bounce back at 115. Contested possessions, ground, his groundwork, he's working around the ground, was down last year. I think he's going to bounce back. We know he's not the greatest tap ruckman, so for him, he needs to be getting the ball more, and that contested game needs to return. Next up is Matty Flynn. I think Matt Flynn goes under 105. Injured at the moment in the sense just back niggles. Nothing that's going to keep him out for too long. He's just managing that. But I I think even as the number one ruck, I don't think he's still at 105. He hasn't showed signs that he can set the world alight. He's had good scores, but he's had good scores and he's had really bad scores. He's coming into a West Coast side, which the midfield isn't as strong as it was at GWS when he was doing well. And the fact that he gets injured all the time, 105, I think he goes under that. Max Gawn, I'm putting straight 120. Yes, he's getting older, but it's Max Gawn, 120. If he stays fit, yep, he's going 120 easily. They're not going to rest him too much because I think Melbourne will be fighting to win a lot of games. And they're trying to return the finals, which I don't think will happen, but he's a big point of that. He did come out and say that Tom Campbell might see some game time, but also in the same sentence, he said Goodwin is a bit hesitant to go that two-man ruck because what happened with Gawn and Grundy. So Go on 120, put it in. Rowan Marshall, he's definitely someone who can go 115 plus. Rumors that Harry Boyd um, may play as the main ruck and Marshall up forward. Will Ross Lyon really go for the two ruckman sort of strategy? It's unknown, so I'm going to put him at 115 for now, just because I think it might start off that way, and then Ross will make some changes. And I think it'll be beneficial for Marshall because he's coming off a fractured pelvis. So if he starts forward, he gets that match fitness and then he can go bang into the ruck. So 115 is fair. Toby Nankervis, putting at 114. Pardon me. Mr. Consistent. He doesn't get injured as much these days. I think he played a full season last season or close to a full season anyway. No one's going to take his spot unless he's injured. So 114, it is fair. Big target, can push forward, get on the scoreboard, but does his work with his contested marks and his tap work. So Nank in there. Tom DeConning, this is probably the hardest one to predict. Because if Pinhead doesn't play, I reckon he could go 120. If I'm being more realistic, he's going here. But what do I really think? Pitnet plays, he could even drop down to 105, 109. So I think it's only fair to put him in the middle here. If I have Nank going 114, Darcy, I think I had about, what was it, 112 or 113? I want to go to Connie at 112. Super talent. If they win more games when he's solo ruck than they do with Pitnet in the side. But Voss does like Pitnet for those games where he comes up against the bigger rucks, like, your Nanks, your Gorns. We're going to get onto Cherry and Wits, Grundy, these types of guys. He does struggle a little bit, does DeConning, and that's when they bring Pitnet in. But he's going to be their ruckman for years to come. I reckon they just play him. 112, I think, is fair there. Cherry's going here. Does he do better than Gorn this season? But then it gets easier. I think Cherry becomes the number one ruck. I think it's going to be like 0.3 in it or something like that. It really came out last year. If you jumped on him last year, you were laughing. And you probably finished up pretty high because you banked all those points early before people started bringing him in. So, as I said, tough run to start, but then it really evens out for him, and that's when he's going to go massive. Jared Witts is the first one going in here at 105, 109. He's getting old. They might bring in Moyle. He might be rested for a few games. Might even be sub depending on how everything's going. I think it's just fair to put him in 105, 109. He's not going to be up to the level of these guys at all. So I have to put him there. Now, is this? I think it is. What's his name? Jordan. Well, I'm watching the football. Jordan Sweet. Mind blank because I was watching the football. I've got the Geelong Essendon game on at the moment. Jordan Sweet, 105, 109. Do I put him there? Soldo could come in. They could play the two-man ruck, which means he'd probably go under 105. He's definitely scoring higher than Flynn. I want to put him at 105. Could be a surprise. But it'd be boring just to put him there. So why not take a risk? 105. He is a very solid ruckman, but they're just unsure at Port Adelaide which direction they want to go. Soldo is serviceable. He does get injured a fair bit, so that's why they have Sweet there initially. But then Sweet showed a bit last season. So depending on which way they go, he's either 105 on the dot or he's around that 100. So I'm going to put him in 105 because I think they go with the youth a little bit more. Lloyd Meek, I'm going to. He doesn't do more than DeConning. I think he's below Cameron. I'm going to put him here at 100. Have so these four, they can go absolutely massive. Cameron is like your 150. Meek, I think he's more your 130, 140 guy. He's going to chip away at those 105 scores. So I'm going to put him there. I don't. I want to put him at 109 as well. Obviously, back in the day, it was 120, but I don't know. That feels harsh, but it also feels right. We haven't seen that groundwork, that movement that we did at Collingwood when he was absolutely dominating. And I think that's because they have the midfield. So during that time at Collingwood, they had Pendles, they had side bottom. It was a much older side. That midfield wasn't quite up to scratch. And now he's in at Sydney with that better midfield, so there's less opportunity or need for him to follow up after that tap. He still does that, but to the level that he was at Collingwood, it's not quite there. So I think 109 on the dot for Grundy is fair. So that's going to be the Rucks done. What do you think about the list? How wrong am I? Or how right am I? What do you agree with? What don't you agree with? Let me know down below. But that's what I'm going with. I'm pretty happy with the list. I'm not going to make many changes. For a few of these guys, it just depends on a few other people in the side and if they can stay fit. So I am happy there. And on that note, it's going to do it for this video. So if you missed any of the other videos, make sure you go back, give them a watch, give them a like, and subscribe to the channel for daily AFL Supercoach content this pre-season. If you're yet to join the Breakevens Open Unlimited League for everyone to join, do so by using code 266136. Once again, that is code 266136. And hit me up on X, the Breakevens Pod, or on Facebook, the Breakevens. That's going to do it for today. I'll be back here again tomorrow with another video. So thank you again for watching, and until tomorrow, it's bye for now.